Hello again, everyone. Um, this is Abracadabra bringing you another knife review. Well, more of a knife show and tell, really. And this is a knife that, as you can tell, it's a Brian Tighe. And I spent quite a lot of time eyeing up this knife, and I finally took the plunge and bought it. And I bought it for a number of reasons, really. One, I'm a collector, and two, I really wanted an example of Brian Tighe's work, and I believe I have a very, very nice example to show you all today. This is just some stuff in the background, just some stuff to look at. I mean, I make a lot of lanyards and stuff, so it's just an example of some of the lanyards I make. The reason why, I figured, well, I thought I'd jazz up my knives a little bit. Some of them on camera. But anyway, let me just open this thing and just work through the tripod. And I'm wearing gloves because I don't want to get any marks on this thing. Anyway, that's the case. Before I take this out, this is the Brian Tighe case. Which I have to say is not amazing. But it does the job. It protects the knife and everything, and it's just got, it's a bit rough around the edges, to be honest. I've seen better. Just got a glimpse of it. And the stitching could be a lot better. It's not, for considering how much I paid for the knife, they could have supplied a, I would have, if I was going to make a knife like this, and attach a price to it that is quite high, I would have supplied it in a box, a nice presentation box, maybe velvet lined on the inside or something like that. But it's the presentation is important, but it's the knife at the end of the day that everybody has their eyes on. So anyway, without further ado, I will show you what this case has inside, and you'll know right away. It is the Brian Tighe twist dagger, and this is one of my favorite knives. And I'll show you why. I'll tell you why in a minute, and I'll show you why in a second. But first, I will go through just some kind of points that I like about the knife. One of them, which is obviously, is the sculpted titanium handle with the 3 X's, which I think is really, really nice. So you've got torque screws, both sides, and you've got the Brian Tighe signature on the pocket clip. Nice little lanyard hole. It's a button lock knife, and it's got a very, very nice design on the pivot screw there. I think that's on the other side. And I'll tell you the reason why. First, let me open this thing. It opens so cleanly. And I'll tell you the reason why I went for this one is because I knew it was, as you can see, a first production model. The first one off the, well, first one out of his hands. No, it's not a production line, no. First one out of Brian Tighe's hands. It's serial number 1, which kind of makes it a bit special. And it has a really, really nice fluted blade that can catch in the light. I don't know how much detail. It's really sweet. Of course, there's his signature there again. I've been wanting to do a review on this knife for a long time, but I've had this knife for about, I'd say about 4 months now. I just haven't got around to doing a review on it yet, but there it is. The steel is BG42, by the way, and I just love the fluting design. I know there are a few other knives out there with flutes or grooves. The Kershaw groove is one of them. But this is going along the blade, not down towards the edge, which I like. And if you can imagine, if this blade is 3D machined, and it's just the way that it's done is just beautiful. It's just amazing. I mean, look at the detail. Just really, if I can get in really close, you can see some stipples there from the machined work. This reminds me of a ship. Focus. I just love it. Amazing. Amazing knife. And the STBS, which you can see there, just about, stands for Sealed Thrust Bearing System. So I guess a new system that Brian Tighe decided to use, and it is extremely smooth, and it is really just really smooth. As you can see, there's no, you can't. I mean, as you do that, you can't feel any grittiness or any roughness at all. It just feels very, it's like silk. It really does. It's just amazing. Okay, that wasn't, again, not very good deployment. It was that, but yeah, it is really, really smooth. There's no blade play whatsoever. Really, really excellent work by Brian Tighe. There are a few more knives that I like to get of his that I want to add to my collection as well. they're not exactly cheap money. This knife was not cheap money either, but you know, I'm prepared to pay for stuff I like, really cool stuff, and this I thought was really cool, and I'm glad I have this in my collection now. Just give you a close up on the pivot screw and the titanium, which is lightly bead blasted, by the way. Turn it over. Just show the inside. And you've got there 3 pillars or standoffs. Get it to focus. It's just a really nicely neat design. I like knives that are not overly, they're not too much. How can I explain it? Not too much razzmatazz, not over the top. Although I do like outrageous knives, but I like the simplicity in knives as well. Actually, I just noticed something quite interesting. 3 standoffs. Now on this side, 0. Which I think is quite interesting. There's some jimping there, which is not really. Doesn't really help that much. Something on the other side. And of course, there's a reason why that there are no standoffs here. It is quite obvious, really. Because when you come to shut the blade, you don't want standoffs getting in the way. That's the reason why. That wasn't a very good deployment, but really nice example of his work. I love it, really do. Let me just measure this thing. Put it on a white background. It is a little, about 8.5, about 8.5 inches. Yeah, about 8.5 inches. What have I said about it so far? BG42 steel, titanium handle, lightly bead blasted. Triple X carved out of both scales. It's a button lock. You'll see it right there. Tripod again. Quite if you can see that. Yep, see it's released. Just open it up so you can see it. It's really smooth. The action on it is very, very smooth indeed. What else can I say about this? Of course, this hasn't cut anything yet. When I get new knives, I tend to do like a little paper test, but I can tell you this is actually quite sharp. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm wearing gloves because I don't like to get fingerprints all over the knife. Most I did with this when I first got it was just put a little bit of oil into the mechanism in there. And that's about it. I just put it back up. And as you may have guessed, it's not going to be used. It's it's a dagger at the end of the day. You don't take this, I mean, you can do, light tasks with it, and if you want to use it as a utility blade, then I wouldn't. It's too sweet. It's just too nice to use. And I'm sorry to say that. A lot of knife people will be like, knives are made to be used. Use your knife, but I can't. I can't bring myself to use this one. I have a Warren Thomas Ryu, which I feel the same way about, and I'll review that in due course as well. But yeah, that is the Brian Tighe twist dagger. Thanks again. Thanks for watching.